Right, so welcome to a new deck profile video. Today we're covering Rapidmon. I've been playing Bancho Stingmon throughout our green theme defense over the last couple of weeks, and Rapidmon is massively stronger. It's obviously built as a green deck, so getting straight into it, go with the eggs. So we do 4 of Gummymon from the new structure deck 17. So when attacking effects, once per turn, if you have a green tamer in play, you draw 1. In short, this is the new staple green egg. I would imagine a lot of green decks are now going to be playing this card, just on the basis of that. But 4 of that, I don't really think you need any other eggs. Personally, I think just those 4 is enough. Now, level 3s. We run 1 Pomamon. Now, all players, all turns, can't play Digimon by effects. It's just a good blocker in terms of wide boards that play out Digimon for fun. But 1 off of him is fine. Next one, we run BT3 Terriermon. This one's our memory blocker. The only cards that gain memory are that of your Tamers. So it's ideal in some scenarios. But just a 1 off is fine. You could run 2 of that or 2 of the Pomamon. It's really up to you. Next up, we have the new Terriermon from Structure 17. Now, it has a main effect. Once per turn, you may play 1 green Tamer card or 1 level 3 Digimon card with Lotmon in its name with the reduction, with the cost rather, reduced by 2. Its inherited effect is that whilst this Digimon is suspended, it gains 1000 DP. You'll see why, as we progress through the levels, why this card has that inherited effect. But the reason why we run a 4 of is because of that main effect. It's just very, very good. And as seen last night at my hosted event for the spring break and pre-release combination event, this card seems to work very, very well for green hybrid as well. So it's just a good 4 off to have. Next up, we have 4 of the older Terriermon from EX4, mainly for its searching power. You get to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, and you can add any 2 color green card, as well as a Henry Wong Tamer, and then you bottom deck the rest. Additionally, it has the inherited effect where when Alliance suspends a Digimon, you can then Digivolve this stack into the next level, 2 color green card, and the cost of that Digivolution is reduced by 2. So it's just a good 4 off, in my opinion, to have. You can play other Terriermons, but for me, that's pretty much it. Next up, and the last set of rookies, is 2 off of Lotmon. Again, this one has a main effect as well. This one, again, is brand new. It's once per turn, you give one of your Digimon Alliance for the turn. Again, it's inherited effect. When it's suspended, it gains 1000 DP. The reason why I run 2 instead of 3 or 4 is just because it's not something I'm proactively looking for. But the inherited is more ideal for me personally as opposed to its main effect. But in combination with that, with the, not the Pomamon rather, there it is, combination with the new Terriermon, you can play this out for a 1 cost. Give one of your Digimon Alliance and use it as part of that alliance if you see fit. Or one of your others, is up to you. But just a 2 of, in my opinion, is enough. You don't need anything more than that. Next up, level 4s. We'll leave the best card till last. But to start with, we'll just go 1 hybrid for game. Digivolves for 2 on any green Tamer, and you will be playing quite a few Tamers as part of this deck. The next one, we run a 2 of a Gargomon. This particular card has a your turn effect once per turn, but when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your Digimon gains jamming for the turn. So it's good if you want to give it self jamming or give maybe Mega Gargomon jamming or any of your Rapidmons. Similarly to the Terriermon and Lotmon, it also has the inherited effect of all turns. Whilst this Digimon is suspended, it gets 1000 DP. So again, it's another DP boost, and you'll see why shortly. Moving on to the next set of level 4s, we have 3 of the old school Rapidmon. BT8, if you're wondering which set this is from, these are just 2 different art styles, but it has Armor Purge. It's when Digivolving effect, you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each Tamer that you have in play. Then up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon, up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon rather, they get minus 5,000 DP. So it's good for a wide board clear, I find. Especially if you're playing in these green theme defense, you know, you're going up against Leopardmon, you're going up against Bloom Lord. There's a lot of DP reduction there to be used. So definitely a card you want to consider when going up against those decks. Sadly, however, it doesn't come with any inherited effects. And then lastly, for our level 4s, the best card of this deck, Rapidmon from Structure 17. It's got Blocker, it's got Armor Purge, but its all turns effect is absolutely bonkers. Once per turn, when this Digimon becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon and all of their security Digimon gets minus 4,000 DP for the turn. So if you have 2 Terriermons in play, you know, you could Digivolve into this, swing, give the board, you know, give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 4,000 already. If you combine that with the old school Rapidmon and Digivolve on another Terriermon or Lopmon, and then just give the board an extra 5k, it's great. Its inherited effect as well is exactly the same as most of the other new cards, but if it's suspended, you gain 1,000 DP. This card is just stupid good, and when it will be combined with the new Rapidmon X antibody that's soon to come out as well, you can understand why the Rapidmon deck is doing so well in Japan at the moment. But mandatory 4 off of this card. It's the best Rapidmon in this game so far. Let's go on to the level 5s. So we'll start with one of my techie options. We'll play the EX2 Rapidmon. When Digivolving, if you have a green Tamer in play, you get to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. But the more so the reason why I play this is because of its inherited effect, where when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gains security attack +1. And that goes very well with our level 6s, which I'll be showcasing in a moment. But just a one-off of him is really, really nice touch. The other Rapidmon we play is the new one from ST17. So this is more for defensive reasons. But basically, on play and when Digivolve, it de-Digivolves one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if you have that green Tamer in play, it can't be deleted by effects, and it can't be bounced back to deck or hand. So it's just a very good 4-off, and it's needed. With the exception of Armor Purge now, your opponents now have to worry about trying to get rid of this off the board, even though the only thing really that's going to get rid of it is DP reduction or Chaos Degradation. It's also got an all turns inherited effect, which is also once per turn, but when this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, you get to trash the top card for your opponent's security stack. This goes very well with the Mega Gargomon Ace, which I'll be showing next. It's just a stupidly strong effect to have, really, but it's definitely a 4-off mandatory for this. Now, if you're familiar with my previous videos, I often like to play 8 level 5s, but in this particular case, I'm only playing 5. Moving on to our level 6s then, we'll showcase the only level 6s we play in this deck. Is the Mega Gargomon Ace. If you're not familiar with Ace cards, it's a counter card, basically meaning if your opponent swings at you, you can activate counter, blast Digivolve and Digivolve on one of your Rapidmons without paying any cost. It comes with Blocker, it comes with Reboot. It's when Digivolving effect is amazing. You suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and then you can choose 2 of their suspended Digimon or Tamers, and they can't unsuspend and they can't Digivolve until the end of your opponent's next turn. End of their turn rather. So it's good for both offensive and defensive because it's going to stop your opponent blast digivolving themselves if it's your turn. And at the same time, it means they have to rethink everything and consider maybe passing turn by doing stuff in the breeding area or playing other cards just to keep themselves in the game. It also comes with a second effect, which is when digivolving or end of attack. It's once per turn, but you may unsuspend this Digimon. So it's good for aggression because you can swing twice. And if you were watching the level 5s, combining it with this Rapidmon, you could swing for 4 checks. And if you've got relevant cards underneath it that give it the DP boost, you're swinging in for quite a lot of DP. So it can go aggressive or it can go extremely defensive. But again, you know, your opponent is swinging into this card in some cases. You're going to block, you're going to gain a heck of a lot of DP, and you'll be able to delete pretty much what's coming. Again, it has the overflow of 4, but that's not really an issue. The next mega that we play is just a one-off. It's a level 7. We run the Quartzmon. If you're not familiar with this card, I would suggest you get your hands on at least one for your green deck. It's just a stupidly strong green colour card in general, but it's a when digivolving effect. You basically suspend all of your, all Digimon and Tamers in play. That includes your side of the board and your opponent's. And then you gain a memory for each 2 cards that are suspended in play. That being the Digimon or Tamers. It doesn't apply to options, not yet. It also has an alternate effect where nothing else can unsuspend except this card on your turn. Alternative, you know, if you somehow end up in a Quartzmon mirror, you know, your opponent's got a Quartz, you've got a Quartz. It all gets a bit bizarre at that point. It also has a when attacking effect. You suspend one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers, and then you trash the top card of your opponent's security stack for every 5 suspended Digimon or Tamers in play. So it's just a very good one-off to have. It's extremely strong. Next up, we have a Tamers, starting with 3 of Willis. It's on play, you get to hatch in your breeding area. It also has a your turn effect where if you digivolve into a Gargomon or a Rapidmon, you can suspend him to reduce it by 1. So again, you could opt for a cheap digivolve. He also works very well with the Terriermon from ST17. You know, you bring him out for 1 using the main effect from Terriermon, hatch a new egg, and then just basically keep digivolving in the back if you need to. It's basically the combination is similar to that of Yukomon, but 3 of him is fine. Next up, we have 2 of the Henry Wong from the new set. It's a good 2 to have. It has a start of main phase effect. If your opponent has a Digimon, you gain a memory, so it goes well with a memory setter. Its main effect is basically a warp card. So if you have a Terriermon in play, you can return a Rapidmon and a Gargomon from your trash, place it underneath your Terriermon along with this Tamer, and then warp digivolve into a Mega Gargomon for a cost of 4. That Digimon then also gets Rush. So the reason why that goes well with a memory setter is because you would gain the extra memory, go up to 4, then warp digivolve into your Mega Gargomon, and then swing however many times that you see fit. So it's just a really, really good card in general. Having a 2 of guarantees that you'll see it at some point. I've seen a few decks run only 1 of him. I just think you need a bit more than that, really. Last Tamer is Mimi from BT1. This card is just so good that it's remained in this game now for going upwards of 16, 17 sets. But it's our memory setter for this deck. I prefer this card over the older Henry Wong from, I think it's EX2. But, you know, her main effect as well, if you have that level 5 Digimon in play, you know, you're either going to hatch a new egg by suspending her, or you're going to bring out a Digimon from your breeding area just to cause some problems, really. But just a 2 of her is great. You don't need more than that, really. Lastly, we go into our option cards. So we're going to start off with new Double Typhoon. I run a 4-off. Main effect is you reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You get to add any green Digimon card and any such tamer cards. So you get to choose one of each, as long as they're green, and then you place the rest at the bottom of your deck, and then you add this card to your battle area. Its delay effect is not like some of the other delay effect cards that we've seen. Instead, this one lets you play out a Terriermon or Lopmon for no cost. Additionally, its inherited effect is stupid strong. Security effect is that you suspend 2 of your opponent's Digimon and then you add this card to your battle area. So it can pretty much block attacks from your opponent, which is great. I find it's just to have 4 of these is more than enough. You could run 3 if you really wanted to, but the search power you get from that card is just ridiculously good. The next 4 of I run is Agility Training. Main effect, you reveal 2 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 green card among them to your hand. Its delay effect is if you are going to Digivolve into a green Digimon, you can reduce the cost by 2. Again, it's just a good 4-off to have. It's such a low cost to play as well. If you sit on free memory and you've got 2 of these in your hand, ideally you want to be setting up ready for the next turn, so you play 2 of them. But yeah, and at the moment option cards are left unaffected by Digimon effects or Tamer effects, but that could change in the game going forward. We'll soon see. But 4 of Agility Training is more than enough. Defensive cards, Giant Missile. It's the new cards from the ST17 deck. Main effect is that you suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then you can return one of their suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. And then one of their Digimon can't unsuspend until the end of the next turn. So you're going to basically assault 2 Digimon with this card. You can suspend one and then bounce one. And then the second half of that effect is, you get to choose another one of their suspended Digimon and ensure that they don't unsuspend until the end of their turn. It's an activate main effect in security as well, so you're always guaranteed to see the same effect apply, but just running 2 of is more than enough. However, consider other option cards such as Heaven's Judgment, just for DP reduction really, and for mainly mirror matches, but you still are using dual colour Digimon, and you could potentially use Heaven's Judgment for 3 or 4 hits depending on what colours you got on board. Last option card is Hidden Potential Discovered. It's restricted to 1, as we all are aware. It's a stupidly strong card, but in short, if you are Digivolving, you can suspend one of your Digimon to reduce it by 5. So it's a good card to have. If you are able to combo it with the Mega Gargomon, that's fantastic. Otherwise, rely on your training boosts. But this is just a mandatory 1-off in any green deck, really. In fact, it costs nothing as well. It's fantastic. But that's basically my deck profile. If I were to include tech options, I wouldn't change the eggs if I'm honest, but you could consider the EX4 Gummymons, where when an effect suspends one of your Digimon, you get to draw 1. Level 3s, there are so many different types of Terriermon that you could consider. Consider the ones from BT8, which is a top 5 searcher for a Tamer. Sorry, it's not a Tamer, I think it's a Gargomon or a Rapidmon. I'll post a picture in the video just for your awareness, but you can consider that one, or potentially you can consider the Terriermon from EX2, which is a your turn effect that if you play a green Tamer, you gain 1 memory. Just again, making your Tamers cheaper to play out. And that's a good combination with the new Terriermon that's been released. Level 4s, I'll be honest, I don't really think you need to change the ratios for your level 4s. The 4 cards that I've shown you are pretty much what you should consider. Again, with the level 5s, again, you're in the same boat really. You could consider any level 5 Rapidmon for this deck if you think it's feasible. But otherwise, you you can consider just playing the 4 of the new Rapidmon and just leave it at 4, or add in some tech key choices of your choice, really. Level 6s, I did run a one of the EX2 Mega Gargomon at one point, but again, it only digivolves on top of a level 5, so, and you're not going to be doing that often in this deck, so I kind of took him out and just stuck with the 4 Mega Gargomon aces in the end. Quartzmon, again, you can replace that with Def-X if you really, really wanted to. That card can be a one-off for any deck in this game. It's good for managing wide boards as well. But if you're playing in a green-themed event, then naturally Quartzmon's going to be the card of choice. Option cards, I've already mentioned it in this video, but the only tech card I would consider for options-wise is Heaven's Judgment. The card is stupid good. Especially with multicolored decks, and being that, you know, you've got what, 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 different colors in this deck. Yeah, it certainly works to your favor. But they're the only tech choices I can think of off the top of my head that could really benefit this at the moment. But otherwise, I'm very intrigued to see what your thoughts are on this deck. Please let me know down in the comments. And if for any reason you guys have managed to sort out your own ratios or thrown in some tech choices of your own, I'd be very keen to hear it. So again, yeah, by all means, put a comment down below in the video. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know how you play the deck, what cards you're including. But as always, appreciate the fact that you guys have watched this video. So please like it. Please subscribe to the channel as always. All the support is greatly appreciated. But otherwise, thank you again for watching the video and take care. Bye bye.